Hi lovely, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Mercy. If you're seeing my face for the very first time, thank you very much for stopping by. So in this video, I'm going to show you how I made this beautiful hair bonnet. It is reversible, so you can wear it either sides. Now if you want to see how I made this beautiful gorgeous hair bonnet, then sit back, relax and enjoy the video. I'm going to make use of this beautiful African print fabric right here. It is 1 meter, though I'm not going to make use of all of them. Then I'm going to be lining it with this beautiful satin fabric. I've got my threads and got my chalk, my scissors, and then I've got my ruler as well. So take those aside and then grab this African print fabric right here. I'm going to measure about 13 to 14 inches. Feel free to make use of any length of your choice depending on the fullness you like. Okay, so I folded that over and then I'm going to mark another 13 to 14 inches from this other point. So I marked that line because I'm going to start my measurement from this point. I don't want the selvedge, so I mark that there and then I fold it over again from that point. Now this is on a fold of 4. Okay, I'm going to measure 13 inches right now because that's what I want to make use of. So measure 13 inches from this point. Okay, I place my ruler that way and then measure 13 inches all the way around to the other point. Okay, so after that I'm going to connect it all together. I'm going to connect all the dots together. Then I'm just going to cut it out. I'm making this mark to determine the wrong side of the fabric. Okay, take that away and this is what I have. Okay, can you see that? This is what I have. I'm going to grab the satin fabric. I'm going to do the same thing, the same measurement I did with the African print fabric. I'm going to do the same thing here and then I'm going to place the African print fabric on top of the satin one, just the same way I did initially. So I'm going to repeat the same process here and then cut it out. Once I open it up, this is what I have. Okay, remember the mark we made earlier to determine the wrong side of the fabric. Now I'm going to place this right side facing each other this way. Okay, now this is what it looks like. So I'm just going to grab my pins and then pin it down all round. Then after that I'm going to take it to the sewing machine and sew about ½ an inch all round, leaving 1 to 2 inches gap unsewed. Okay, so leave that place open. Now this is what it looks like after sewing it all round with ½ an inch. This is what it looks like. Okay, then I'm going to grab my scissors and make some notches around this circle just to have it flat and nicely once I turn it to the right side. Okay, so this is the notches. Be careful not to cut your thread. Okay, be careful with your seam so you don't rip it off. So this is what I have, right? I'm going to turn this to the right side through this opening we left. After turning to the right side, adjust it nicely and then take this to the iron and iron it properly. Okay, iron it nice and flat. This is what we have after ironing it nice and flat. Can you see that? Okay, so I'm going to make this mark. This is 1 inch mark, and then upwards I mark half an inch. So mark 1 inch and then upwards half inch. The 1 inch is going to be for the ruffles, and then the other half an inch is going to be the elastic casing. I'm going to do this all round, still leaving the 2 inches gap unsewed. So take this to the sewing machine and sew it all round on the mark. Okay, so this is it. I'm going to take it to the sewing machine. I've done it all round. Take it to the sewing machine and sew on those lines, those 2 lines. Okay, so this is what we have after sewing it down. Can you see that I've sewn it all round? This is the other side, what it looks like. Now this is the elastic. For the measurement of the elastic, measure the circumference of your head and minus about 2 inches, because you don't want it too tight on your head and you don't want it loose either. Okay, so I just grabbed this to clean off the chalk I used in making the marks, right? So just clean it off, and then I grabbed my safety pin. I'm going to insert it into the elastic casing through the opening we left. Okay, so just go ahead and insert that nicely. Take your time, no rush, just insert it very flat and nicely. So I just grabbed my pin to secure this on that end so it doesn't move inside. Okay, so I've just secured it there, and then I'm going to continue passing the elastic into the casing. Back to the end, I just take the safety pin out and pull the elastic this way. Take the safety pin out and then take the pin out as well. Then what I'm going to do, I'm going to overlap the edges, overlap it this way. Can you see that? So just overlap. You can take this to the sewing machine and sew, but I'm just going to make use of my hand needle and sew it up. All sewn. Can you see that? Very nicely. Okay, so just flip that in and then adjust your bonnet nicely. Okay, now it's time to close the opening. Okay, take it to the sewing machine and close up the opening, sew along that way. So I've sewn it, and this is what we have. Can you see that? Can you take a look at the ruffles? So beautiful. Do we love? So let's just go ahead and style this bonnet.